Good morning. This is Don B with Truth Be Told. And before we move on to a couple interesting news reports we have here, please remember to subscribe and share this video. Over 90% of the people who watch my videos aren't subscribers, and it really helps my numbers and helps my channel grow. At any rate, without ado, let's move to the first one. Says wave of death. New China cover-up fears with world's largest dam on brink of collapse, risking tidal wave that could wipe out cities. China is facing a new cover-up claims amid fears the world's biggest dam is about to collapse, causing a tidal wave which could wipe out an entire cities. Sections of the vast Three Gorges Dam in the central Hubei province are reported to have moved under enormous pressure, sparked by the torrential rains. This is a security guard looking at the smartphone while water is released from the Three Gorges Dam in this photo here. And it said there are fears the dam could collapse, releasing a city-destroying tidal wave. There's another photo. The Three Gorges Dam is the biggest in the world, holding 39 billion cubic meters of water. Wow. They're them releasing it. Beijing has played down the threat of the massive dam busting. Okay, moving on. And concerns were mounting last night that the giant structure could collapse, sending a devastating 250-foot tidal wave surging hundreds of miles. The 570-foot dam holds back a staggering 39 billion cubic meter reservoir of water, so huge that it has a measurable effect on the rotation of the Earth. It is 5 times the size of America's famous Hoover Dam and generates 11 times as much electricity, vital to millions of Chinese homes and businesses. But rumors of structural faults in the walls of the 14-year-old dam have grown as heavy rains deluged the swollen Yangtze River. China's secretive leaders, already facing a backlash over the COVID-19 pandemic, which started in Wuhan and Hubei province, have played down the threat. But authorities have said to have quietly ordered the evacuation of 38 million Chinese in the threatened zone, equating to more than half the population of the UK. Heavy rainfall is forecast to continue to pound the Yangtze River basin in the coming days after localized floods claimed at least 141 lives. Experts said a dam burst would, it says sad, but it said a dam burst would send tidal wave roaring into the city of Yichang, which is a population of 1 million, and leave it 50 to 80 feet underwater. Wuhan would be hit 7 hours later and would be likely to be as much as 6 feet underwater for 4 months. Dam authorities have been unavailable for comment, but China's state-run Global Times quoted an official declaring the structure safe and in good condition. Yeah, Yep, it sounds like they got some real big problems there and they're really in danger of the dam breaking. And here's on the World Tribune. And it says, China hints at a Black Swan event. Failure of Three Gorges Dam could kill millions in Wuhan, Yichang. Made in China already doesn't have the strongest connotation associated with it, and it appears this may apply to mainland Chinese infrastructure. China is up spending on dams in the last several years to combat flooding, namely on the Yangtze River, the longest river in Asia. It began construction on the Three Gorges in '94, a project that required more than 1 million people to relocate. It's a massive creation measuring 1.25 miles long and is the world's largest hydroelectric dam facility. It's currently the only thing standing in the way of unleashing several hundred nuclear bombs worth of energy on Hubei's province, of which Wuhan is the capital, and its structural integrity is in question. As if Wuhan hasn't been the epicenter of enough human suffering lately, this would vastly exceed the destruction of the Wuhan coronavirus has already brought on the region. Massive rains that typically abate in July have produced the most torrential downpours since '98 and have caused the Yangtze to overflow, resulting in $10 billion in damages, 23 million displaced, and 141 deaths. This pales in comparison to what will happen if the dam breaks, the city of Yichang and its 4 million inhabitants would be gone within a half an hour, with Wuhan and its 10 million citizens in danger of being eradicated. For context, when we dropped the atomic bomb on Japan, about 225,000 were killed. Fears over the gargantuan creation imploding have become a real Black Swan reality after satellite imagery of the dam from 2009 to 2019 showed it is bending under immense pressure. While this kind of concern isn't entirely new, whenever the region gets heavy sustained rains, the Chinese Communist Party, the CCP, commenting publicly on it, has fostered more credence to the claims the dam is in danger. China's Minister of Water Resources, Ye Jiancheng, hinted at a Black Swan event after commenting that the coming rainfall would exceed existing flood control as the rain continued. Smaller dams began to crack, with the dam at the Guangxi failing and flooding surrounding villages in the process. This was an event not reported by state-controlled Chinese media, deepening concerns that if there was a problem with the Three Gorges, it would be concealed not only from the world but from China's own citizens who are directly in harm's path. Beijing's official message is to deny any issue at all with Three Gorges. When passed on the incontrovertible evidence of the dam's compromised structure, they did concede it had deformed slightly, while reiterating this still posed no risk. China has been prioritizing water conservation projects on lakes and rivers. However, this comes after decades of ignoring the infrastructure. About 96% of the 94,000 dams along China's rivers were constructed in the 50s and 60s. If these smaller, far less reliable dikes and dams were to give, their ability to divert floodwaters can have a significant effect on major dams like Three Gorges. What is likely the world's largest slab of concrete was built with robustness in mind. It's presumed capable of being able to survive nuclear attacks, bearing an outlier event that no one can predict. It's almost impossible the dam will crumble entirely. However, we don't need the worst-case scenario for real destruction to occur if only parts of the dam give way. The mighty Three Gorges has a max capacity water level of 594 feet, meaning any volume over that has water spilling over the dam. Its warning level is 476 feet, and its maximum level is around 574 feet. Right now, the dam water levels still set at 522 feet. The risks here are very real. This is a potential hazard that will make COVID seem like good old days in China if catastrophe strikes, and will cause a severe crisis of confidence in China's own citizens and in its government. Next report says HHS whistleblowers claim they were told to hide real COVID situation among child migrants. The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services instructed its agents to conceal the actual scale of the coronavirus outbreak among children held at the facility in Fort Bliss, Texas, at the beginning of this year, according to an appeal submitted on Wednesday to 4 congressional committees and government watchdogs. The paper cites 2 whistleblowers, Arthur Perlstein and Laura Reinhold, who were said to be career federal civil servants and served as volunteer detailees at the Fort Bliss emergency intake site from April through June 2021. The whistleblowers alleged that usually as they completed their tasks, the HHS Public Affairs Office would give them a paper instructing them to make everything sound positive about the Fort Bliss experience and to play down anything negative when asked. They also pointed out that every effort was being made to downplay the degree of COVID infection at the site, and the size of the outbreak was deliberately kept under wraps. At a town hall meeting with detailees, a senior U.S. Public Health Service manager was asked and refused to say how many were infected because if that graph of infections is going to the Washington Post every day, it's the only thing we'll be dealing with, and politics will take over. Perception will take over, and we're about reality, not perception, the document reads. Aside from that, the manager of the Fort Bliss establishment allegedly didn't pay attention to the fact that children in the COVID tents were wearing masks, wearing basic disposable masks instead of the N95 mask, and said that infected children don't need an N95 mask, even though uninfected detailees were working with the infected children. COVID was widespread among children and eventually spread to many employees. Hundreds of children contracted COVID in the overcrowded conditions. The document also contained other complaints related to irregularities at the facility. In particular, the authors mentioned managing problems, including a lack of clean underwear and unqualified employees working on children's mental and emotional health. Wow, wow, wow. Interesting. Well, that's about all we have on this first report. Please remember to subscribe, and thank you for watching. This is Don V with Truth Be Told, broadcasting under sunny skies so far, and hope everybody has a wonderful Friday and a great weekend. We are out of here.